You're listening to a portion of our conversation from episode 288, featuring the Jurassic Wire with myself, Brad Jost, and co-host Aaron Beyer. If you want to hear the full conversation, download the episode on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, or wherever else you listen to podcasts. Today, we take a look at the newest Jurassic World attraction with Jurassic World Adventure at Universal Beijing. We watch through a ride video and analyze every single detail. As always, be sure to let us know what you think, and of course, we hope you enjoy it. Let's move on to the show itself. So the first thing I wanted to bring up is Jurassic World Adventure. Okay, so this is
cool.
It's really cool. And we've talked about it a bunch, I think, here and just on the show in general. And Universal Beijing, that's where it is. Universal Studios. They just opened a brand new park. It's not officially opened yet, but they're doing like team member previews and soft opening, stuff like that right now. So officially, I don't know what the official date is, to be honest, but it's a beautiful looking park. It looks amazing. The Jurassic section not fully opened yet. It doesn't seem like. I still see the roller coaster that they have there doing test runs with dummies and stuff like that. So, but you know, inside that aviary looks incredibly impressive. I've seen the raptor encounter, looks awesome. There's a bunch of restaurants and stuff that I haven't seen inside yet. But overall, this place looks incredible. And then you do have Jurassic World Adventure, which is fully opened. And it's just insane. We've speculated for a while about like what we'd like to see and all kinds of stuff like that. But now we actually finally get to see it. I'm going to add it to our video stream. If you guys are listening on the podcast, we do have a video portion as well, which you can find over on YouTube. But this thing is so good. I'm going to go ahead and kind of just like scroll through it here as we're, oh my gosh, that's so loud.
Oh, loud.
That was loud. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really cool because what you're in is basically like a vehicle that is, which you're kind of like in a vehicle that's like Transformers or Spider-Man if you've been to some of the Universal parks in the States. So it's a pretty familiar attraction style.
Can we talk about though? I like this ride. I don't like the first 30 seconds of it. I don't.
Okay. Yeah.
This room is weird. Like I feel like I'm like getting ready to like shoot into like a space, like it's a space dock or something. Like the way they've set up this like lighting is really weird. Like I get the posters are cool.
Yeah.
But why not? Go ahead.
No, but why not what?
It just doesn't feel very Jurassic to me. And maybe because Jurassic World did I thought Jurassic World did kind of a bad job at showing you the things we all want to see, which is like the park,
itself, operating things like
like even like the closest you get is like you get the hotel, which is obviously just like a Marriott with a hologram CG'd in, right? And then you get like, well, no, that's the visitors or the whatever.
Yeah, I don't know what they have at
that was like a set, but like okay, so you get like the Marriott where like the kids are like dropped off. You get the line that's in the middle of the mountains for like no reason whatsoever. Like it has no connection to anything. Like when they're waiting for the gyrosphere, they're just, if you look at that line, it just, and if you go to if you've ever been to the real set, like the line just kind of trails off into nothingness. Like it's super weird. Like what brought these people out here? Yeah. Anyway, so like this,
it kind of connects well to Camp Cretaceous, which like in that show, there's just like a random thing. Here there's like that you walk up to this massive, like for some reason, you know, high rise in the middle of the jungle.
So but like okay, but I still kind of assumed that the look of Jurassic World was still kind of adventure-y, Jurassic-y, Jungle Cruise-y kind of thing with like blue instead of red, right?
Mm-hmm.
This street looks like a spaceport. Like I feel like I'm about ready to like launch into like Space Mountain with Jurassic posters. And it's super weird. And then
between this and the other ride, I mean, they do kind of have these really bright lighting packages where it's like a lot of flashing Jurassic World Velocicoaster in Orlando, like that brand new ride, and this one they they've got these really cool lighting packages like in the queues and stuff like that. There's lots of blues, there's reds, there's all kinds of cool colors like that, and it's very futuristic. They do their best like to try to model Jurassic World, because like you said, we don't really get anything out of what the attractions are. Like you said, the gyrosphere ride is like, hey, it's just this little thing here in the middle of nowhere. But it's kind of hard to tell. I can't really speak too highly about what exactly this room is, because like I don't know. I have no idea. Like, what is I know we start off in the innovation center, right? For this ride, that's the key. So they're trying to get you through the innovation center, and then I don't know. I don't know like how you get to this portion of the attraction, but like I don't even know what this hallway is outside of. There's really cool animated posters.
This kind of leads into my actual critique of like the first 30 seconds. The next, if you want to like fast forward through this or whatever, the next spot is like the wonder portion, which you see like the stereotype brachiosaur like raising its neck and like it's gonna greet you, and then from that point on, it's just horror the rest of the time. Whereas like the original river raft ride did such a good job of like the wonder section. What Jurassic Park was supposed to be is the first like 3 to 4 minutes of that ride. I mean, it's slow, but like you're actually on the Jurassic Park tour for the first half of that ride before the horrific stuff starts to happen. And I get that the horrific stuff is fun, but the wonder stuff can be fun too if you take the time to explore it. I'm
trying to look right now. Okay, so duration, at least according to like Wikipedia, for Jurassic World River Adventure is 7 minutes. So you have an extra 3 minutes or so to take in the park as it is naturally. So that's probably the difference right there. For this ride, it's about 4 minutes or so. So yeah, you basically are like, just, hey, here's one little really, really quick glimpse. And actually, I have heard a lot of people mention the same exact critique that you're saying here. It's like, man, I wish that beginning sequence was longer, where you get to kind of look. Like some of these Universal attractions, you actually get to pull up into a screen, basically, and you basically sit there, and the ride moves and kind of like
Potter and
turns. They kind of sit in this screen where it makes you feel like you're doing more than you are. This one doesn't. It kind of just continues along the track. It just kind of moves along here, and you basically get a really quick view of this pretty awesome like skyline here.
It's pretty.
You basically have Brachiosaurus heads popping up, and there's so many really cool details in this that I continually find. There's like, you've got the aviary back there, a monorail line off on the right, a lagoon, Brachiosaurs, there's trikes off on the left-hand side. And then like, I still can't tell because it's very, very blurry and stuff, but there's a building over on the left-hand side. It might be the radio tower at the bunker. I'm still not completely sure. But it gets struck by lightning. And then once that happens, I actually love that there's vehicles. There's like ACU or Ranger vehicles or something, like with their like police lights on their emergency lights, like kind of scrambling around the jungle, like ready to things like that. But it is a little too quick.
It's too short.
I would love to see like the park, which I've kind of spoken that for years now. I just would love to have a Jurassic ride where nothing goes wrong. Just witness dinosaurs. But that's not possible. I don't think that's possible with like many rides. There's only like a handful of rides where nothing goes wrong. So that's just the nature of the thrills and the chaos of a ride. But there's a handful.
Yeah, I've always kind of like, from a realistic perspective, it's not realistic to assume that something bad goes on, like wrong, like on every ride. Like that's not realistic.
Well, when you're talking about Universal, it's like, well, let's take a look at their properties. It's like Jurassic World, okay, something has to go wrong. Transformers, okay, something probably has to go wrong. Spider-Man, yeah, something has to go wrong there. So it's like Fast and Furious, probably some explosions. So there's like literally any property is like something has to go wrong.
Yeah, I forget where I was going with this argument.
Some rides don't, it's like, even we were talking about Jungle Cruise before.
Oh,
Like,
no.
It's not really a ride where a lot goes wrong. There's little like incidences and close calls, but like nothing too bad.
My favorite opening to like any outside the movie kind of stuff is for Operation Genesis, which the opening to Operation Genesis is you're observing the park. It's wonderful. John Hammond is talking to you, and then it cuts in with, hey, the Raptors got out, right? That whole intro to that game is like, yeah, the park is, and this is something, again, from Jurassic World that we don't see. The park is operational all the time, but there are things that go wrong that maybe are not brought to your attention as a visitor. And so,
yeah.
I feel like none of the movies have ever played it. Well, the first movie can't really. The opportunity was basically at Jurassic World to basically just be like, look, this series of movies is going to be about Jurassic World being open and the things that happen at that park. Instead, they just decided to like rehash the first two movies, which whatever. So like, the opportunity for the audience to suspend their disbelief is there. They just never took that route. So yeah, it's like you can't have a Jurassic Park land where something always, like, you can't just have a normal land and a normal park. Something catastrophic has to go wrong. And in 2021, it's always the Indominus Rex. It's never anything else. Always the Indominus Rex.
In 2015 through 2021, it's the Indominus Rex. It's always the Indominus Rex. But yeah, so it's very, very quick. Actually, I guess in this interesting take, I guess, on Jurassic World, it's not as bad as Universal Hollywood, where like the way that they depict Jurassic World is completely different than how it went in the movies. This is like, it's close. It's pretty close. Except for like the storm is like alluded to in the film with like the wet ground and stuff like that, but you actually never get to see a storm. But like in this case, it's kind of saying like, oh, this lightning strike happens, and then maybe that's what set out the Indominus Rex in a way. So it's a little bit different, than the film, but not too bad.
Sorry, we're trying to open this closet over here. This closet, when you open it, is like 30 degrees cooler than the rest of this room. It's amazing. Oh, it's like, open it.
You need that open,
yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's not a complaint. It's just a critique. I'll never go to China to ride this ride. So,
so let's take a look at the rest. The lightning strike happened, and then, like you said, we get right out of the scene, and
chaos.
Lightning strikes again. Chaos already is happening. It's a lot of darkness. I mean, you've been on. So this actually pops up here. It's actually got the translation here for the language barrier there, and it says Jurassic World is canceled. Your tour through Jurassic World is canceled due to the bad weather. So they basically just take everybody in, but you pass the Indominus enclosure, and that's all destroyed. But you do get a quick look here at the Indominus. Massive cool. Animatronic. Cool. It's so good. I love it so much. But it doesn't really that's really cool. It kind of interacts with the vehicle. Spider-Man and Transformers do that a bit, where like something hits your vehicle, pushes it along. This one actually like bumps into it with its head and pushes you backwards. I don't know why there's like a second view here in this video. But I like skipping forward a little bit because there's just a few dinosaur interactions. I think there's there's a ankylosaur here that kind of bumps it again.
Like, this is awesome. But
yeah,
at this point, maybe it's just me. Are you not kind of over the Ankylosaurus Indominus? Like, pick something else. Like, there's got to be some other animal.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Look, I said this the other day in our live stream about like, and I know some other people were saying it in the comments that like, oh, here we go again with Jurassic World in something. We cannot, like you just said, we can't get away from this. For the past however many years, we can't get away from this moment in time. But like, I don't care. In this attraction, they nailed it.
I don't even mean it that way.
Like, so I don't care that like it's like there's no facing off here. It's not like the ankylosaurs and all that are facing off. Sure, do I wish like there was like more dinosaurs? Definitely, but like,
I mean, maybe that's
fine. I'm fine with the ones that we have. You know, it's like it's not like we're gonna get, you know, a ton of animatronics. Like these are massive animatronics. Plus, there's 3 in that scene alone with the ankylosaur. There's 3 different. There's 2 babies, it looks like, and an adult there. So maybe one of those babies is bumpy. You know,
I mean, maybe, but maybe this is like my hesitation for this. Like, I always felt like, even on the original ride, Spielberg wasn't like, oh, it has to be my 7 dinosaurs that are in my movie.
Sure, there was like random.
Protoceratops, there was Stegosaurus, there was Parasaurolophus is one of the 7. But like, it was like him having signed off on that ride was, you know, and I always felt like Trevorrow stuff, similar to like how like I'm kind of starting to rethink my Mattel collection. It's like what Trevorrow added to Jurassic Park, Mattel added to Jurassic Park. So like, I just feel like all these rides now, it's like the Trevorrow stamp of like we've stomped out Spielberg. Like, I mean, am I wrong?
No, I mean it's, you know, it's basically like with Hollywood. It's like, hey, well, it was Jurassic Park, but now it's just Jurassic World. I mean, they did keep, you know, the dinosaurs, a lot of the same dinosaurs there, but
the Hollywood ride is the quintessential Trevorrow like additives. It's the Mosasaurus. It's the and there is an Ankylosaurus, right, in that ride, or no?
It's still the Stegosaurs. I don't think there's any Ankylosaurs in that ride. Okay. They removed the Pteranodons, I believe, fully, so they're not there. But you do have Blue and
I just feel, I mean,
Indominus.
I don't know. They're adopting the new franchise, which is totally fine. Like I'm 30, whatever, complaining about this. You know, I'm sure my nephew would be completely out of his mind if he saw this stuff. I just wish that we had stamped out the Spielberg stuff.
Too. Yeah, I mean it's kind of tough, but that's why Orlando's a great place, you know, for Jurassic in general, because you do have a nice mix. You do get your Spielberg and your Trevorrow, so it's kind of a nice little mix there, and they do reference, you know, each other within not from River Adventure to Velocicoaster, but from Velocicoaster they do reference River Adventure and stuff like that. So yeah. It is nice. Let's see what else we got here. There's a really incredibly, so here's a gyrosphere, but there's an incredibly impressive sequence here where the Indominus Rex pops her head out again and actually like follows the ride vehicle, like for an extended period of time, which is one of the best moments I would think in any theme park attraction anywhere, because where do you get that size animatronic following you for seconds? Like, it's not like Dinosaur the ride in Orlando.
I was just gonna say,
it's not like that, man. That thing follows you for it like a step, and then it's like that's it. You know, there's like 2 steps, and then that's it. This thing actually follows your vehicle and moves. Like, it really, really moves. That thing doesn't do this same thing.
I mean, that's awesome.
So, yeah,
that's something that Jurassic has always missed in their rides. Like, Dinosaur was I feel like Dinosaur at Disney is it's like the gold standard in dinosaur rides. And you're right. Like, I would trust you. It's been years since I've ridden that. So like, I know you go quite often, but like, that's one of the most exhilarating parts of that ride, when that Carnotaur
for sure. Yeah.
chases your car. And because of the ride, you feel like it's a while, but maybe, I mean, if you're saying it's just a second or a step or whatever.
Well, yeah, it's like you're stuck. I think that's the part where you're stuck in mud, and then you hear it coming, and then the light comes on, and it's basically just like maybe 2 steps or 3 steps or so. I don't know, at the most. With this thing, actually follows you for a while, like around this whole bend. I would think, based off of what I see in this video, that it's like kind of like a carousel in a way, where like you're kind of backtracking like along this curve, like backwards, and then the Indominus is kind of going around this curve as well, and then continues once it like you guys disperse from each other. It kind of continues, I would think, around that curve to reset for the next ride vehicle as it comes up.
You don't think it backs up. You think it's continuously going in a circle.
I think it's just a big Indominus circle that it just kind of goes along. Don't quote me. That's just what it looks like from what I'm seeing, because as the car officially backs out of that scene, it looks like the Indominus continues in that trajectory of like a circle. Mm-hmm. So it's just really, really impressive. And I just hope that like with these massive animatronics, like it holds up for a long time, because you never know with big working animatronics like this how long they'll last or how much maintenance they're going to need and stuff like that. But yeah, it's really, really impressive. And then we get a bunch of screen moments. I'm still stuck. I don't know if that's officially a screen or a vehicle. I think it's a screen, but it's hard to tell. This next scene is actually pretty cool because it's a blend of like physical, where you have one of those like ACU vehicles backed up. Actually, it's like the same vehicle that you see like Gray and Zach in the back of.
It's the coolest. It's the coolest vehicle in, as far as I'm concerned, it's the coolest vehicle in the Jurassic World.
It's pretty cool.
Like, I love this vehicle. I think it's neat. Like, I think it's a step above what the red Jeeps were. You know, like this actually has like a medical table for smaller animals. Yeah, I love this truck. I think this is, I'm trying to think if there's anything cooler in Jurassic World. I think this is it. Like, I think this is my favorite ride. The only other thing I can think of that's like cooler than this, that's not like straight from a movie, would be like, did you ever see that concept art of, it was like a truck that was like the red and the white, or the red and the beige, and like it like had like a dinosaur cage on the back of it, and it was,
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I think
a cool piece of art floating out there that was supposed to be at the Universal or something, but
Yeah, well, anyway, it's a cool vehicle, and it has blue sticking out the back, like a physical animatronic of blue. So that's pretty awesome in and of itself. And then there is another, it looks like another one of those vehicles, and Owen, flies up on his motorcycle. All the other Raptors kind of jump around, which is cool.
Yeah.
And they take off to the left, and your ride vehicle also goes to the left. And they kind of peel into the next scene, which is also like a blend of like physical. There's like physical fencing and stuff like that right there. But then I don't know what this part of the park is or whatever, but like there's this cool like underground tunnel portion that they kind of like just drive down into, and all the Raptors, all four of them, just go down in this tunnel. It looks so impressive. I dig that so much. And it brings them like back up out of a tunnel, like right at paddock 9. So again, we're kind of straying from the storyline a little bit, where like, this never really happened. Like Owen didn't do a massive jump like over some stairs or something, like on his motorcycle, and all
these three Raptors would not be cool with Claire.
Yeah, they're all of them. All four of them are standing right there as the T-Rex is coming out of the paddock, and Claire. And then you take a few turns and you end up right on Main Street. And this is like, I don't know. I don't know of a moment in an attraction where like you may have like a more thrilling moment than being on Main Street. You see T-Rex Kingdom on your right. The T-Rex is out there roaring. It looks so impressive. So like,
play through, because you're paused on a really bad frame.
Oh, it's not the clearest thing ever, but like,
no, I know, but you're just paused on a.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's so impressive. And you twist around, you get both the T-Rex and the Indominus, and then it blends so well into like the next scene where it kind of takes you indoors. It's kind of a lot like how in the film, you do that like big like 360 camera motion where like, the camera kind of goes indoors, outdoors, up high, down low. This takes you right inside, where you get to see like, oh, the Indominus is looking through the windows now at you. And the fight's still going on outside, and you're continuing through the stores and whatnot. And this like indoor scene here is so cool, because like you're inside like a store or something, and you got destruction in front of you, like physical props and things, and then a massive screen that showcases this huge battle. Claire whipping a flare at the Indominus eye. All of the Raptors attacking the Indominus. It's so impressive. I like can't that there's this shot which is not very great in this video, but like a shot of the T-Rex just roaring in the moonlight, and like it's so good, and it smashes the Indominus through the building, and then basically the ride's over right there. So it's and like kind of like it, you kind of like what we said at the beginning, how like the beginning is very quick. I think the ending is like I don't really care too much about the beginning. Sure, it's a little fast, but like the ending feels like there's no closure to me. I'm like, oh, like what happened? Like, did the battle? Who won? Like, was that the end of the battle? Like, I don't know, like, because like you don't actually see like the rest of the battle where like the mosasaur comes and attacks, and you know everything, all that stuff happens. Like, so like all of a sudden it's just over. Like you're just out of there. So it's just like you're just kind of getting a glimpse. So it's cool, but that's the end of the ride there, and you know you just go back into another hallway.
It's cool. It embraces things that I wish Universal would embrace outside. Like, I think Universal could very much make the sidewalks at Islands of Adventure more. You know, we're saying that we don't get to see the park being a park. If they did some screens outside, some kind of anti-glare screens where like you're looking through trees into like just a video of animals, like that would just sell it just that much more. Or like, I know they tried with the Triceratops exhibit where like they made it this big line, but like honestly, they didn't need to be a line. Like they could have just put that Triceratops hanging out next to the sidewalk behind a fence. Like that's the kind of stuff that I think would sell Universal even more. You know, let me look into the raptor paddock. You know, like let me experience what that's like.
That's what's the ride is the time when everything goes about Universal now, though. Like you do get to look into the raptor paddock. You actually do get to like, you don't see you can see like the ride and the roller coaster and the raptors in there, but like it's cool because there actually are like partitions where you can like look through into the paddock itself. So it's kind of cool.
This is during the queue?
No, like outside in the walkways now.
Oh, I mean that's awesome.
Yeah. So you can actually like look through like steel fencing and stuff like that as like the ride is going by and like into the paddock, and there's waterfalls, and it's really impressive. And I'm sure when you go out if you go out to Beijing, you probably have a very similar experience. There's a lot of motion, waterfalls and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think they're doing a killer job so far with the past two attractions. So see where they're going to go next. But we still have some stuff to open up in Beijing, so we'll see how the rest of it goes. But Jurassic World Adventure looks pretty amazing, and I think, you know, if I was to be on this attraction, maybe it's not as thrilling as it seems, but I think it looks like it's one of the best rides ever.
It looks like a lot of fun. My complaints are more critique than anything. It's like just because I love the franchise, right? But like, yeah, this ride looks excellent. Yeah, honestly,
it's tough. Yeah, we want to see like a working operating park, but like we never get that opportunity. We want it in like TV form, comics, movies, rides, but like they don't. They just want to see the world burn. Like Jurassic just wants.
Yeah. I mean, that's what sells, you know.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, so let's move on to our next topic